There's something that's secretly draining your energy. It's confusing your gut. It's fogging up your brain. And it's aging you faster than Florida humidity ages a patio chair. And it's called oxidative stress. Yup, it's the silent troublemaker no one ever warned you about. Hey friend, welcome to Gut Fix. Are you ready to finally get rid of those debilitating digestive symptoms? Do you catch yourself staying up late Googling things like, what can I eat? Or how do I stop a flare? Or maybe you're just lying awake wondering, how did this ever happen to me? I'm Wendy, and I've been exactly where you are, desperately searching for answers, but determined to find natural solutions. And like you, I was overwhelmed by all the conflicting information out there and unsure of what might really work for me. And so now in this podcast, I'm here to share with you what I've learned, how to listen to your body's signals, and uncover the common mistakes that might be standing in the way of your healing. So grab your favorite drink, pop in your earbuds, and let's dive into your health transformation together. Hey friends, and welcome back to Gut Fix, where we ditch the guesswork, we ditch the overwhelm, and we finally connect your gut, your brain, your hormones, and your energy so that you can actually live your life, not just plow through it. I'm Wendy Handy, your functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner and recovering do all things, ignore all symptoms woman. And today we're going to dive in. We're talking about oxidative stress. And it's the silent energy thief that's been messing with your gut, your brain, your mood, your sleep, your hormones, and quite honestly, your whole body. And if you've been feeling, drained or foggy, puffy, or just meh, then I want you to stick with me because this episode is going to connect the dots that you didn't even know needed to be connected. So let's dive in. First, what the heck is oxidative stress? You may have heard about it, and you may even really kind of have an understanding of it, but a lot of people don't really know what oxidative stress is. And so, quick mini science class here, but I don't want you to worry because it's not going to get too in-depth. So, oxidative stress is basically like when your cells are under too much pressure for too long. And so I want you to think about they're rusting from the inside out. So if you've ever cut an apple in half and you see it turn brown, the insides turn brown, that's oxidative stress. That's oxidation, right? And your body does that, but your cells start to do that. And it can look like things, it can be caused by things like being under chronic stress all the time, which I know you can't escape it. We're all under stress, but we can work on, lowering that stress. It certainly can be caused by all the processed foods and seed oils that are out there. It can be caused by chronic inflammation or systemic inflammation, toxins, infections, poor sleep, hormonal shifts, and even when you overexercise. So your cells are doing their best, but they're getting hit from all angles. And unless you have enough antioxidants and healthy fats to protect them, they're going to start to get overwhelmed and they're going to stop working as smoothly as they used to. And so again, think of oxidative stress is your cellular rust. And so I don't want you to worry though, because we can actually fix the rust and we can actually prevent it. So what does oxidative stress actually look like in your body, and what does it do to your body? So here's where things get just a little bit spicy, because oxidative stress, it doesn't just pop up out of nowhere with big giant warning signs, right? Like you just don't go, whoa, I guess I have oxidative stress. No, it's very, very sneaky. It's very subtle. And it blends in like a Florida gecko on a palm tree. You don't even notice it, right? But here's what it might look like. It might look like brain fog. And people ask me all the time, well, what is brain fog? It's really just like you're not focused, you're not alert. It's like somebody's dimmed your internal lights. It might look like bloating or some gut irritation that you really don't have an explanation for. There's no cause, nothing that you did differently to make that happen. It could be, it could look like very low energy, even though you've had 7 to 9 hours of good sleep. It might be that your digestion starts to slow down. Your mood dips a little bit, or you become irritable quicker. You might have poor tolerance to stress. You just get, really stressed really fast. Your skin, when you look in the mirror, it might look very dull. It might look inflamed. You might be puffy. You might feel puffy. You might feel inflamed. You might, when you work out, be very slow to recover from that. And of course, those hormonal swings could feel like extra wild, right? So if any of that sounds familiar to you, I want you to know you're not imagining it. It's real. And oxidative stress affects everything because it affects the cells themselves. And the cell membranes and the mitochondria, your little energy factories, and it even affects your gut lining. So when your cells are stressed, it just makes sense that you are going to feel stressed, right? So then why do women over 40 tend to feel it more? It's because when estrogen and progesterone shift, especially in perimenopause, menopause, and certainly postmenopausal, your inflammation levels rise, your stress resilience lowers, and your antioxidant stores, they naturally drop. So those hormone shifts alone can create more oxidative stress. And then when you add on to that and combine it with, irregular sleep, added stress, nutrient depletion, not getting enough of your protein, those gut imbalances, gut dysbiosis, our standard American diet or our SAD diet, busy schedules where we're just plowing through everything and just overall trying to be superwoman. Your cells are basically waving a tiny white flag and saying, I surrender, I give up. And I want you to know it's not your fault. It's physiology, right? And so the gut, the brain, and the hormone are linked. And here's how oxidative stress affects each one of those. So it affects your gut by weakening that gut lining. It increases that inflammation. It affects your whole digestive system. And it's going to throw off that microbiome. So the perfect storm for gut dysbiosis, leaky gut, and all the things, right? Then it affects your brain by causing that brain fog or just not feeling like all the cylinders are firing, right? It lowers your mood. It impacts your memory and it affects your sleep. And then it affects your hormones because it tends to make those perimenopausal symptoms so much worse and screaming so much louder. It triggers that heavier fatigue. It increases imbalances in your progesterone and your estrogen. And it affects your cortisol, your overall cortisol, your fight or flight hormone. And so your gut and your brain are constantly talking to each other all day long. And when you have oxidative stress, that interrupts that signal of them talking together. And you will feel, you'll feel it with the symptoms that really nobody can really quite explain, right? So there are some natural remedies that you can use to calm that oxidative stress. And here's what will generally help with that. So number one, you want to make sure you're getting enough omega-3s and polyphenols. We know that omega-3s are anti-inflammatory. They are essential fatty acids. We need them, but our body doesn't produce them, so it has to come from food. We have omega-6s. They are also essential fatty acids. They are inflammatory. Our body doesn't make them, so it has to come from food. The problem is we are much heavier in omega-6s in the inflammatory than we are in the omega-3s. When you test, you know that. And these omega-3s and polyphenols, they protect the cell membranes and they calm that inflammation at the cellular level. So I personally use a very specific polyphenol-rich oil in my routine because it does support both my gut health and my cell membrane resilience. And then number 2, you want to make sure that you're getting enough antioxidant-rich foods. So think things like berries, leafy greens, herbs, certainly extra virgin olive oil, wild-caught salmon, green tea, and even beets. Those are all very antioxidant-rich foods. And then number 3, you definitely, this is kind of a no-brainer, but you want to reduce those seed oils and the ultra-processed foods. It's been talked about so much lately, and they really do drive that oxidative stress the fastest. You definitely want to improve sleep quality. This is a big one for me. I am such a proponent of getting good quality, consistent sleep every night because that's where your body does its resting and repairing. And, sleep is literally your antioxidant factory. Then you want to work on your nervous system resets. And, if your nervous system, if you are constantly in that fight or flight mode, it's very hard to heal. It's very hard to stay balanced. So you want to think about things like your breath work, 2-minute vagus nerve resets, some stretching, anything that you can do that brings your body out of that fight or flight. And then you want to do some gentle movement. So things like, walking, especially out in nature, that's a great way to actually also reset your nervous system. Strength training, yoga. But I want you to think here, do not overtrain because that's going to lead to more oxidative stress. And then number 7 is balancing your minerals. So your magnesium, your potassium, those trace minerals, they're all going to help to reduce the oxidative load. And then number 8, you want to support your gut. So, you might, as we get older, we tend to not make as much digestive enzymes. Then you add on, chronic stress. That also depletes your digestive enzymes. So consider taking some digestive enzymes, some bitters, some prebiotics and fiber, if you can tolerate it. These are all going to help to reduce that oxidative stress. And so, testing is really very important here because we don't really know if this is what it is. But there's an in-home test that I use with my clients that looks at that omega-6, omega-3 balance. It's one of the clearest indicators of oxidative stress in your body. And most people have no idea how off balance they really are until they test. And I have to say, myself included, when I first took this test, I thought I'm going to pass it with flying colors, right? Because I'm so healthy. And I was a little bit shocked. I wasn't as bad as the average American, but I was shocked that I wasn't as more imbalanced than I was. And so the test itself, it's very data driven. It's empowering because then you know what you can focus on. It reveals that hidden inflammation that's in your body. And once you know what your ratio is, then you can finally fix the root of it. Because, you can't out supplement an imbalance that you've never identified, right? Makes sense. So if this episode hit home for you and you're thinking, wow, oxidative stress might be my missing puzzle piece, then I'd love to chat. I do offer a very quick discovery call where we can look at your symptoms, your stress levels, your gut health patterns, and whether, oxidative stress is the thing that could be holding you back. And you don't have to guess or feel confused anymore. We can look at your whole picture. We can look at your health and history, and we can create a very simple but a very doable plan that helps you feel like yourself again. The link's in the show notes below, or you can always DM me over on Instagram, Wendy Handy Wellness. Just DM me the word balance, and I'll send you all the details. And until next time, I want you to take a breath and take a beat and take care of yourself because you deserve to thrive and not just survive. So until next week, stay happy and stay healthy. Hey friend, I hope today's episode brought you some real value. If it did, would you take just 30 seconds to share it with a friend who might be struggling to get her gut in check? And if you're feeling extra generous, leave me a review on Apple. It absolutely lights me up knowing that this podcast is making a difference for you. All right, it's time for me to grab my protein shake and get my gut happy. I'll see you back here next Tuesday for another episode of Gut Fix. And until then, stay happy and stay healthy.